all OMCs that take the product to ensure they reflect in their pumps prices. Ghana piloted the gold for oil policy with the delivery of 41,000 metric tons from the United Arab Emirates, which arrived at the Tema port on Sunday, January 15, 2023. Now let's look at in West Africa. The West African Network for Peace Building, WANEP, has been appointed by the African Union to serve on the 20-member strategy group of its network of think tanks for peace. The network aims to strengthen synergies and foster long-term structured partnerships between the AU political affairs, peace and security, and African institutions, practitioners and experts working in areas of peace, security, and governance. WANEP, which was appointed last year as a member of the network, says it intends to lead its expertise and experience in peace-building practice in Africa to the newly formed network. The appointment is hinged on WANEP's Memorandum of Understanding with the AU, through which it maintains a liaison office at the Commission and in line with WANEP's experience in peace-building practice in Africa. And in health, 13 healthcare facilities, including pharmaceutical professionals, have been honored at the Made in Ghana Health Industry Summit Awards in Accra. The award winners were tasked to improve on medical research and be abreast of modern trends in the digital space to facilitate the delivery of healthcare.
The Ghana Health Summit Awards ceremony brought together the bigwigs in the healthcare industry. It sought to enhance network and build capacity on how to promote professionalism among practitioners. Individuals and companies were presented with plaques and citation of Most Outstanding Integrative Health Facility of the Year, Best Pharmaceutical Brand, Best Specialism Quality Healthcare, Healthcare Service Provider of the Year, Healthcare Service Distributor of the Year, and Health Industry CEO of the Year. The Kolebu Teaching Hospital grabbed the Medical Excellence Surgery of the Year. Some of the recipients spoke to GBC News.
Whole world is going to be technology, and Ghana cannot be left behind. In every industry, in every sector, digitalization is the key to the success.
There's a lot to be done in terms of research. I've come to see that in Ghana, most of our practice is more or less into clinical care instead of concentrating more on research. So COVID actually took us by surprise, which we were not prepared as a country to go into research. But Kings and Queens, as a new institution, has now set up a new research center to do more advanced research.
The herbal industry was also recognized for its excellence in extracting the benefits in local herbs through scientific research to improve the healthcare delivery.
We have a lot to do to improve our herbal industry. First of all, we need a lot of scientists to make more research, because we have different types of trees and then plants, which we can make a good use of them to heal people from their diseases and then infirmities.
The Ghana Health Summit Awards seeks to honor health institutions, practitioners who adopt innovative measures to enable Ghana to attain the universal health coverage target by 2030. This year's event was on the theme, Celebrating Health for National Development.
And to some unfortunate events in the central region, a windstorm accompanied by downpour at Dentrantum in the Upper Dentra East municipality of the central region has destroyed several houses and rendered residents homeless.
Roofs of most houses, especially thatched ones, the roofs of the Ntom DAJHS and a mosque were also destroyed. The storm also pulled down electricity poles, leaving the community in total darkness. The assembly member of the Ntom electoral area, Mr. Akwesi Kodia, who explained how the incident said there were no casualties.
I was close to the DA school when the incident occurred. I realized the roof of the school building has been removed by the storm.
I said, yes, you know, and
Some of the victims appealed to individuals and organizations to come to their aid.
I was saddened when I was informed that my building has been affected. I call on government and other individuals to come to our aid.
By God's grace, we escaped. Fortunately, there were no casualties.
The director of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, in the Upper Dangera West District, Isaac Jesse, who visited the community to ascertain the extent of damage, assured the affected residents of some relief items.
NADMO is assessing the situation and hopefully find a solution to the situation in the course of the week.
Now, the Bible Society of Ghana is to translate the Bible into sign language and Braille to serve the spiritual needs of persons with hearing and visual impairments. The society is also translating the Bible into more local dialects, including Futu, Senyase, Okiri, and Bono languages to encourage people to read and understand the Bible in their mother tongue. Chairman of the Ashanti Regional Oversight Committee of the Bible Society of Ghana, Apostle Dr. Isaac Osei-Boakye-Yiadom, announced this at the launch of the Bible Week celebration in Kumasi in the Ashanti region.
In 1968, the Bible Society of Ghana aims to reach every home with a copy of the Bible translated into Ghanaian languages they can read and understand. Currently, the Bible has been translated into 9 languages, including Asante Twi, Ekuapem Twi, Ga, Fante, Ebe, Dagbani, and Nzima. It has also revised some of the older versions of the Bible. The society also engages in advocacy programs and projects to whip up the interest of people in reading the Word of God. At its secretariat in the Ashanti region, the society has a team of volunteers and over 100 distributors who assist in translation work and other activities. It has set aside the first week of February every year as the Bible Week to create awareness about the importance of the Bible through various outreach activities. This year's Bible Week is on the theme, God's Unchanging Word, Hope for All. Some of the activities include interaction with selected churches, drama, Bible reading marathon, concerts, symposia, and church services. The week-long celebration in the Ashanti region was officially launched at the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The chairman of the Ashanti Regional Oversight Committee of the Bible Society of Ghana, Apostle Dr. Isaac Osei-Boakye-Yiadom, said translating the Bible into the various local languages requires skills and effort, hence the need for all to contribute towards the society's activities.
We also do Braille Bible, and also we want to do Bibles for people from the Senya Ewutu area, Ewutu Senya area, from Okre area, and Bono, and then Latte.
Apostle Dr. Boakye-Yiadom disclosed that the Bible Society will soon translate the Bible into sign language and Braille to serve the spiritual needs of persons with hearing and visual impairment. The minister in charge of the Amakum congregation of the SDA Church, Pastor Kwabena Boakye-Yiadom, said the church will continue to support the society's activities financially.
Now, the overlord of the Gonja traditional area, Yagbon Tutumba Jakwa Boresa, has died. Reports say he died last night at the Jakwa Palace at Damongo in the West Gonja municipality of the Savannah region. He was more than 80 years old. The statement says preparations have begun to bury him in line with the customs and tradition of the area. Yagbon Tutumba Boresa was installed in March 2010 and is said to be a disciplinarian and a man of peace whose reign further sustained the peace and tranquility within the Gonja kingdom. He was a member of the Committee of Eminent Chiefs who successfully mediated the Dagbon chieftaincy conflict, paving the way for the enskinment of the current Iana. Let's take it to the foreign front now. Election officials in Nigeria on Saturday accreditation for voters ahead of this month's presidential and parliamentary elections. The country goes to the polls on 25th February to elect a successor to President Muhammadu Buhari. State governors and lawmakers will be elected 2 weeks later.
ensure fairness and transparency of the electoral process, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) introduced a voter accreditation system at the 2015 and 2019 polls. After a number of technical problems, INEC decided to test the system out in Lagos to see if the BVAS is working. The BVAS is to accredit people either facially or through their thumb printing. President Buhari will step down after 2 terms, the maximum permitted under the Constitution. Officials are keen for the election to run smoothly. Some voters were excited about the exercise and had their biometrics taken by INEC officials in preparations for the general elections.
Francis has ended his peace pilgrimage to South Sudan by celebrating an open-air mass attended by tens of thousands in Juba. He urged the congregation to reject what he called the venom of hatred and told them to lose no opportunity to build peace. And he pleaded with the country's leaders to focus on ending conflict.
The mass, which took place at the John Garang Mausoleum in front of an audience of 70,000 according to estimates, was filled with cheerful worshippers waving flags and deep in prayer. The religious ceremony fell on the last day of the Pope's visit to South Sudan, which was his first to the country. The Pope, who visited the country alongside other Christian leaders, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, and the moderator of the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland, Reverend Ian Greenshields, has been on a peace mission with the South Sudanese clergy to raise their voices against injustice on Saturday. In 2019, a year after a peace deal failed to stem political and ethnic unrest, Pope Francis shocked many by kissing the feet of South Sudan's bitter political rivals, President Salva Kiir and his deputy Riek Machar, when they met at the Vatican, asking them to respect the terms of the ceasefire. But the violence has continued. At least 20 people were killed in a cattle raid on the eve of the religious leader's visit. The Pope had a similar message of peace and reconciliation when he visited the Democratic Republic of Congo earlier this week.
Now, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has pardoned tens of thousands of prisoners, including many linked to anti-government protests. The pardons come on the eve of the anniversary of the Islamic Revolution in 1979. Demonstrations erupted last September following the death in custody of Mahsa Amini, who's 22, who was held by Iran's morality police. She was arrested for allegedly wearing a hijab or headscarf improperly in violation of Iran's strict dress code for women.
Ayatollah Khamenei's latest pardons came after a letter from the head of the judiciary indicated that many of the detainees as young people were led astray by foreign influence and propaganda. The letter claims that a number of protesters had expressed regret and asked for forgiveness, but those charged with more serious offences such as spying for foreign agents, murder or destruction of state property will not be pardoned. The measure will also not extend to any dual nationals currently being detained. Human rights groups say more than 500 demonstrators have been killed, including 70 minors, and around 20,000 have been arrested. Protests around the country have slowed considerably since the first of the hangings began.
A 16-year-old girl has died after being attacked by a shark while swimming in a river in Western Australia. She was pronounced dead after being pulled from the Swan River. It is believed the girl was riding jet skis with friends on the river when the incident happened. The Western Australia police said it was possible the girl had jumped in the water to swim with dolphins seen nearby. People have been urged to take additional caution and to abide by any beach closures. Fisheries experts say it is unusual to find sharks in that part of the river. This is believed to be the first fatal shark attack in the Swan River since a 13-year-old boy was killed in January 1923. Australia typically records about 20 shark attacks each year, with most in New South Wales and Western Australia. There were 2 fatal shark attacks in 2021 in 2020. Historically, dying from a shark bite is not common. In more than a century of records, Australia's shark attack mortality rate is 0.9, less than 1 person per year. Now, the U.S. has shot down a giant Chinese balloon that it says has been spying on key military sites across America. The Department of Defense confirmed its fighter jets brought down the balloon over U.S. territorial waters. The military is trying to recover debris, which is spread over 7 miles. 2 naval ships, including one with a heavy crane for recovery, are in the area.
U.S. President Joe Biden had been under pressure to shoot down the balloon since defense officials first announced they were tracking it. An F-22 jet fighter engaged the high-altitude balloon with one missile about 6 nautical miles off the U.S. coast. The discovery of the balloon set off a diplomatic crisis, with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken immediately calling off this weekend's trip to China over the irresponsible act. In a statement a few hours later, the Chinese authorities denied it was a spying aircraft and instead said it was a weather ship blown astray. On Friday, the Pentagon said a second Chinese spy balloon had been spotted, this time over Latin America, with reported sightings over Costa Rica and Venezuela. Colombia's Air Force says an identified object believed to be a balloon was detected on 3rd February in the country's airspace. It says it followed the object until it left the airspace, adding that it did not represent a threat to national security. China has not yet commented publicly on the reported second balloon.
Pakistan's former President General Pervez Musharraf, who seized power in a coup in 1999, has died aged 79. The former leader, who was president between 2001 and 2008, died in Dubai after a long illness. He had survived numerous assassination attempts and found himself on the front line of the struggle between militant Islamists and the West.
The leader's body will be flown back from the United Arab Emirates to Pakistan via a special flight after his family submitted an application to do so. Pakistan's Prime Minister, Shehbaz Sharif, expressed his condolences, as did the country's military leaders. He supported the U.S. war on terror after 9/11 despite domestic opposition. Mr. Musharraf's rule was characterized by extremes. He was credited by some with turning around the economic fortunes of the country while a leader, but his career was also marred by controversy, including accusations of failing to provide adequate security for former Pakistani Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, whose assassination by the Taliban in 2007 shocked Pakistan and the world. In 2008, he suffered defeat in the polls and left the country 6 months later. When he returned in 2013 to try to contest the election, he was arrested and barred from standing. He was charged with high treason and was sentenced to death in absentia, only for the decision to be overturned less than a month ago. He left Pakistan for Dubai in 2016 to seek medical treatment and had been living in exile in the country ever since.
Let's look at the interbank rates and the commodities market as of close of business on Friday. The reports from our weather forecaster Felicity Ahafionyo, who is the Chief Meteorological Officer at the Ghana Meteo Agency. Good morning, Felicity.
Good morning, Maltiti.
I hope your weekend was great, but it wasn't so great for the people of Ntong in the upper Denchura of the central region, as there was some rainfall and heavy winds that ripped off their roofs.
Oh, that's bad. But you could remember we've prompted them on Friday.
You did.
That we are expecting some rain.
Right.
So, and it's not only them. I think some portions in Accra also had some showers yesterday. Then likewise, those of us in the Volta region also did.
Right. How is our weather looking like this week starting today? Better weather conditions?
Yes, today we are expecting it to be missing most portions over the southern sector. Right. By mid-morning, we expect it to become partly cloudy over the extreme south. And then the sun will also set in. So we are expecting a partly sunny sky over the entire country. The northern part of the transition will remain in the dry and slightly hazy conditions. Visibilities will be on the good side. We expect it to range between 6,000 and 9,000 meters. For the southern sector, late afternoon into the evening, we are having 30 to 40% chance of rain over the extreme. Those of us over Axim, Hafasime, Takwa, Bibiani, Enate, and Barons, close to Greater Accra, we expect some 30 to 40% chance of rain today. Our official folks too, we are having some rain patches over the sea. So this morning, close to Axim, we are having some rain, which is likely to be producing rain and possible some thunder over there. By mid-morning into the afternoon hours, we expect it to remain partly cloudy, but then the state of the sea will be calm for any fishing activities. The Volta Lake too, we expect similar conditions. We expect it to be calm this morning with partly cloudy sky. Then in late afternoon to the evening hours, we expect some rain and thunder formations over there. Those around close to Katekrachi area, we are having 30% chance of some rain cloud forming over those areas. So if they want to go for fishing, they need to be a bit careful. If there's going to be any drastic change, we'll definitely issue a warning that can help them. For temperatures, we expect 39 for the north, 35 for the middle and transition, 33, 34 for the south belt. So for today, this is how you're expecting it to be.
Thank you so much, Felicity. You're always giving us heads up of where there's likely to be heavy rainfall and the weather conditions fluctuate. And so you would like to tune into GTV Breakfast from the news so that you'll be able to get your weather updates and plan your day. That's it for GTV Breakfast News. I am Malti Tisaida Sadek. There's more news when you log on to gbcghanaonline.com. I'll be back at 7 with sports, regardless of whatever happened to Liverpool. But up next is the BFS Clinic and the kitchen together. As we're looking at the importance of fibers in our diet. Also later on in the headlines, the economist Bernard Odro-Techi and the lawyer Dr. Anani Jinde will come your way, and then gold for oil with Thelma. Stay with GTV Breakfast.